From Santa Rita, Guam, please welcome from WOW Women of Wrestling, Tiki Chamorro.
Today, I'm Tiki Chamorro, and let me hear your war cry.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mike Rand Show. And today's special guest is from WOW Women of Wrestling. Please welcome from the Island Dynasty, Tiki Chamorro. Hey Tiki, how are you?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Good, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And now, Tiki, you are from the island of Guam. So, can you tell us what it was like growing up in Guam?
Growing up on Guam is living in paradise. I have younger siblings, so being able to just go around the island with them and create chaos and mischief was always fun. Um, it's also island living, so there's a lot of things to do, whether it's swimming, snorkeling, or hiking. And that's where I get all my hiking and adventurous side from.
Yep. And then, when you were growing up in Guam, after you finished high school, you enlisted into the army. So, can you tell us a little bit about that? What was that decision-making process like for you that you decided that you wanted to enroll?
Well, growing up on the island, a lot of kids after they get out of high school is join the military. Guam is actually one of, I would say, the number one or within like the top three of enlistment people from the island to join the military. And that's because the military provides education for us and then also a way to get off the island if you're coming from a low income family. I joined particularly because I knew that it would pay for my school. I would have an opportunity to travel, and then also I have an opportunity to um, figure out what career I wanted to be in the military. Although it was hard because I did get deployed, I do know and appreciate how much I've grown from the military. So.
And thank you for your service. And can you tell us what it was like going over to Afghanistan?
So when I got deployed, I was 17. So my mind was not as developed as any 20-year-old, 25-year-old. So I was still a kid. It's very hard. I would say anyone who's been on a deployment, whether it's in the Army, the Marines, in the Navy, or any other branch of service, it's not only difficult for you, it's difficult for your family. Back then, we didn't really have Zoom or any communication or even social like this. So it was hard to communicate. So they would send me snail mail, which is just like care packages, and that's how I communicated while I was deployed. So hard, but also grew up really fast from that.
Yeah. Now, when you returned, you did let us know you did suffer from PSTD,
Mhm.
and I wanted to know how did you learn to cope with that, and how did your heritage also play a role in that coping process?
Yes, so I still suffer from PTSD, anxiety, and depression. I think that's just something that all military personnel, when they transfer to civilian life, will always have until there is a cure or there's a better way of coping. Um, I would say being a Pacific Islander has taught me that not only am I physically strong, but I'm mentally strong. And mentally, as in, although I do have these thoughts or these depression modes or like these outbursts, I could always seek help for it. And thankfully, we have like the VA facilities that provide that. And also for me, I have my husband who's very supportive and understanding of the situations I've been in. And then also my family members that have served in the military. So they understand what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling. So having a good support system I would say is the best option. But if you don't, there's also other support systems out there like the VA or like women veterans that help out.
And what led you to WoW? What led you to become a female wrestler?
Oh, so I was trying out for WoW. When I first went into the tryout, I thought it was just gonna be like a regular TV show. I come from an acting background, and so I walked in. I was like, "Oh, this looks fun." They let me do a promo to see how I am on the mic. Nailed that. And then they did the physical aspect, which is the tryouts where you learn how to protect yourself. You start like moving in the ring, how you feel, like acclimating your body to be a wrestler. And since I have a rugby background as well, like I just love contact and I fell in love with the sport. I fell in love with how my body felt when I was in the ring, how my persona amplified as a wrestler. So yeah, I just fell in love with it once I stepped in the ring.
So did you ever watch wrestling at all or no? That or you just went and tried out for a while but was not a normal wrestling fan?
I wasn't a wrestling fan at all, or even I knew about it and I've seen it on TV, but I wasn't really drawn to that. I come from a sports background, so like anything on a grass field or a basketball court or any court, like I was more into that. So I didn't really watch a lot of TV. I was like, okay, today I'm gonna go cliff jumping, or today I'm gonna go play rugby or soccer or volleyball. So I didn't really have that sit down and watch kind of childhood.
Now, when you did join WoW, did you go back and watch past episodes? And I want to
Oh yeah.
know who were some of your favorite wrestlers?
Yes. So when I first had to do, I would say, educate myself of WoW and the storylines and like the wrestlers was before me. I really love the Lioness. I like her grit, her persona, her outfit, and then also I love Azteca. Again, persona, outfit, and currently back then it was Beast, but now that I've seen these and I'm more on like with working with her, like okay, I still like these, but not as much as like everyone.
So you are part of the Island Dynasty with Chaos and Kona, the Tonga twins. Now, I want to know how did you all get together and meet?
um, I would say mutual agreement with the understanding that Spam City is a great snack. So I would say that we really love island food, from different cultures. We love hanging out at the beach. We love just being able to express ourselves, how we do back home. And that kind of like made us come together and be like, hey, like you're from a different island, but we still have the same cultural backgrounds. It may not be like identical, but it's similar.
And how protective are you? Are you their little sister? And I want to know what kind of advice do they give you before your matches?
Yeah, I would say they think of me as their little sister. I think of them as more as just sisters, not as a little sister. And they do give me really good advice whenever I'm watching a match of an opponent that I'm gonna face. I always do my research, and then if they've wrestled them before, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? If they like hypothetically did this, like would this be a good counter option, or would this be like something that would get them out of nowhere? And they're really good at like leading me and like letting me know like no, like you want to make sure like you surprise them, so because they're already thinking like oh you're quick and fast, like you need to have like that balance where there's always that spark, where there's that level of like you don't know what's gonna happen.
And now, you three aren't the only faction in WoW because there's also the Fabulous Four. And there's
Mm-hmm.
been some tension over the years with the Tonga twins and Miami's Sweet Heat.
Yes.
And I want to know what are your opinions on the Fabulous Four?
Um, the Fabulous Four are fabulous as they rightfully should be, but I do feel like they have a lot of shenanigans against me. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because I'm tiny, which a lot of people seem to underestimate my tininess for weakness, which is actually a huge strength. I don't know about Penelope. Me and Penelope go head to head a lot. But also not a lot of people know that she's just a little taller than me. So I don't know what's up with that either.
Speaking of Penelope, you've had some matches with her, you've had some matches with Miami Sweet Heat as well. So let's talk about those matches. So tell me what it's like wrestling them in the ring, going up against Penelope as well as Miami Sweet Heat.
So going out with Penelope is, I mean, they're both Penelope and Miami Sweetie are both amazing wrestlers. I always know that they're gonna bring something out that I haven't seen. So I always have that in the back of my head. Whenever I wrestle Penelope or anybody in general, I do not get intimidated really fast. Although I'm smiling, I am calm on the inside and I know that I want to win. I always want to win when I'm in the ring. And so making sure that their persona or their attitude or whatever they did before to get me in that ring doesn't conflict with my goal of winning. So wrestling both of them, I would say they're both great opponents. And yes, sometimes they do win and sometimes I win depending on the situation, but I always put my best foot forward whenever I step in the ring.
Now, when you battled Miami Sweet Heat, you teamed with Chantilly Chella. You also teamed with her against Gigi Gianni and BK Rhythm, the Brat Pack. So tell me what that match was like and also what it's like having Chantilly as a tag team partner.
Having Chantilly is awesome. We both have the same vibes of being like super hype, super athletic, very like go 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 pace. So I love that when I'm tagging with her because we're both on that same wavelength of like, okay, what are we gonna do? Let's do this together. How can we execute it so we could win this match? So I love tagging with her. She's also very sweet, and whenever she gives me advice, I take that to heart. Battling the Brat Pack. Ugh, the Brat Pack, they are a strong team. They've been a tag team for a while. So that was very difficult just trying to watch their past tapes to make sure we're prepared as best we could. And then battling, what was the other one?
Yeah, the Brat Pack. I just asked the Brat Pack.
Okay, just the Brat Pack.
But now we will go to one of Gigi's former tag team partners, Adriana Gambino. You battled her.
Mm.
So that was a tough competitor. So tell me about that match.
Adriana had just that fierce and Italian sauce. But I would also say she has like legs for days in a good way. She was a former or current ballerina, so her leg strength is very immaculate. I've been in a lot of her leg stretches. But yeah, every competitor that I have, I don't ever underestimate them. Everyone is rightfully there and are there to prove something just as I am. So I never underestimate an opponent when I'm in the ring with them.
Yep. And now you did have to go up against G.I. Jane. So that
Mhm.
was kind of like, military versus military there in a
Uh-huh.
way for you.
Yes.
So tell us what it was like having a battle G.I. Jane with Samantha Smart in the corner.
Okay. First off, whenever Samantha Smart is in the corner, I think there should be no rollers at all. I've been hit so many times with that stinking roller. One day it's just gonna be in the bin or somewhere else, maybe plant a tree for good luck. But battling Jane was awesome. Being able to go against another U.S. Army personnel because she's not a vet yet. I think she transitioned. But yeah, I knew it was going to be tough because both our physical and mental mindset are pretty top notch. And she does have like a height advantage of me, but watching her tapes before, I was like, okay, I got this. Like, I know Jane is strong and dominant, and I'm quick and fast, and I need to use that to my advantage. To just be quick, fast, and come out as a house of fire.
And another person that you wrestled a couple times was Gloria Glitter. One time she won, and then you sought revenge and you beat her. So I want to know, what are your thoughts about wrestling Gloria Glitter? And I want to know if you're surprised about the recent development of Gloria Glitter teaming up with Candy Crush and Coach Campanelli, if that came as a huge shock to you, you know, Crush teaming up with them and Coach turning her back. So can I have your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, so when I first wrestled Glitter, I knew she was going to be a competitor no matter what. She's a cardio queen. But I didn't really see a lot of tapes of her, so I couldn't really like understand her flow in the ring until I finally was able to be in the ring with her. So that first match was testing the water. And then after that, when we had our second match, I knew what to prepare for and also like how to combat some of the moves that she's done on me already. And thankfully I won. With the whole top tier, that came out of the blue. I really love Coach and Crush, and I do love Glitter as an opponent and as a wrestler, but yeah, totally out of the blue. Coach does give me some tips, and I take them so so. But Crush is an athlete just as me, and to have her turn really broke my heart, but also it's the same thing. Like you can only take as much as someone can give you, and her situation is different from mine. I'm more patient with friendships. So yeah, it's just not out of the blue, really out of the blue.
Now, is this a trio that the Island Dynasty has to watch out for in the future? Do you think they may have their sights set on you guys?
I believe so. Just because the Tonga twins have held the belt for the tag champions. Also, with any trios, everyone is a competition, whether it's top tier, Exile, the Brat Pack, even the Mighty Mites or Los Banditas and Tormenta. Like everyone, I feel like everyone forgets that you shouldn't underestimate anybody, especially if they're in a trios or a tag team, because the more you work together, the more you fine tune your wrestling skill sets and the more you're able to translate that into the ring. So yeah.
And speaking of Las Benditas and Tormenta, you guys just recently defeated El Clan Latino in a
Yeah.
trios match. So I want to know, what was that match like? Because there was this shocking ending there towards Sofia Lopez. And you also, you wrestled Tormenta one-on-one and scored a huge victory there as well. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so when I wrestled Tormenta, I mean, Tormenta's a powerhouse. She is an international superstar. So I know the stakes were really high. Thankfully, she has a lot of matches online that I could do homework on, and that's what I did. I knew that wrestling Tormenta, I had to do as much homework as I can, whether it was watching videos or doing moves in the ring to make sure that my body was prepared because I knew it was going to be very tough on my body and then also mentally. And so being able to quickly win by rolling her up was a huge accomplishment. I mean, I didn't like getting attacked at the end, but thankfully I had Kona and Chaos to get my back. And then being able to do the trios with them, with Kona Chaos and Los Banditas with Tormenta, was just icing on the cake because if you should know by now that if you pick on me or if you pick on the twins, that we both have each other's back. And I don't know how people forget that, but it does happen.
Now, what a lot of people want to know as well is, where was the Island Dynasty during the Trios tournament? Because it seemed like the Tonga twins were looking for you and they couldn't find you. So what happened there?
Um, well, sometimes I like to go on adventures and don't tell anybody. And this particular time, I decided to go to Disneyland and then extended my stay by going hiking. And I don't have reception when I'm hiking, so if someone's calling me or texting me, I won't see it till I get reception. So that was the issue. I was going on a little adventure.
Well, once in a while you got to see the world, see different things, I guess,
Exactly.
right?
It's just
Can't
bad
can't be in the
timing.
WoW arena all the time. Got to go out a little bit. So speaking of the WoW arena, what is it like the fans and the audience when you come out? I want to know what kind of adrenaline rush do you get from feeding off of the fans?
Oh, so being able to step out before you even get in the ring is there's just so much thoughts that are going through your mind, and then also the feeling of like being thankful for being there, and then the adrenaline starts kicking in when you start seeing like these little girls that are like reaching out for you and calling your name, and then stepping into the ring where they're like chanting your name now and like wishing you well and like hoping you win. It's just euphoric. I would say it's a great feeling to have, and it's a humbling experience to have as well, because everyone who steps in that ring has a story and has a background and has challenges they face to get there. And being able to represent not only myself, but people who look like me and people who want to be in the situation or have this opportunity, I just feel so blessed about it.
There's so many women in WoW right now, so many amazing athletes. I want to know, what is your advice to the new ladies who join WoW? And who would you like to wrestle that you haven't wrestled yet? Is there any of these newer stars that you want to take on in the ring?
Yes. So the advice I would give incoming WoW women would be to just be yourself, have fun, enjoy the experience. They wanted you and they picked you for a reason. So just shine and be the superstar that you are. Let's see. The person I would want to wrestle would be Cody Collins, because I don't know, something about her rubs me the wrong way, but you never know until you meet each other in the ring. And then I would want to wrestle with the Island Dynasty top tier because they're new trios. And then also maybe, I don't know. I have to think about it. But I do. Oh, and Kat. I would like to wrestle Katarina Jane, but not as a tag team, just individually, Cody and Kat.
Yep. What are the three fun facts that maybe nobody knows about Tiki?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot. I think everyone already knows that I do van life, so that's not a hidden fact or a fun fact. But ooh, I don't really like to eat cheese. I mean, I can't eat cheese, but I don't really like it. I'm afraid of snakes, which maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I just don't like snakes. I don't like snakes or worms, and I drink a lot of water. Like I would say, I drink about 2 gallons of water a day. Like I love drinking water and being hydrated, but that's also because I sweat a lot from wrestling and playing rugby and other sports.
Well, water is good for you, right? We
Yeah.
need water. I need to drink more water myself. Okay, and now it is time for the lightning round, where
Ooh,
I'm
okay,
going to name you a couple things. You tell me which one you prefer.
gotcha.
So, are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Crossword puzzles or word searches?
Both. I love anything that stimulates my mind, even Sudoku.
Would you rather invent something or discover something new?
Oh, I would like to invent something for helping humanity, but I would also like to discover something as long as I don't get cursed.
Would you rather text someone or call someone?
I like calling. I like hearing people's voices
Yep, I
and making
agree.
sure
Strawberry kiwi or orange mango?
both. I love fruit.
Would you rather sing a hit song or be a lead in a hit movie?
Be a lead in a hit movie. Oh, even if it's an action movie.
Which do you misplace more, your keys or your cell phone?
I don't really misplace it. I always have it on me. It's my husband who misplaces a lot of stuff.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs, especially my dog Nala.
Would you rather have a churro or a soft pretzel?
A churro. I love a good churro, especially like the ones at Disneyland or like on the pier at Santa Monica. Oh,
Elevator or escalator?
escalator.
Truth or dare?
Dare. Both
And
feet. I'm
finally,
with both feet.
and finally, which is more accurate? A crystal ball, a fortune cookie, or your horoscope?
A fortune cookie.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell everybody how they can follow you on social media?
Yes, you can follow me at Tiki Chamorro on Instagram and TikTok, and then you can also follow the other WoW superheroes at WOWE.com.
And you guys can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at official Mike Rand. On X, I am Mike Rand Com, C-O-M, like the website MikeRand.com. And of course, on YouTube at official Mike Rand and the Mike Rand. Thank you again for joining us here today, Tiki. I had so much fun. And we will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.